You're watching Fox 61 Morning News.
First at 6 o'clock here on Fox 61, a big test for the water main repair project in Waterbury. In just a few minutes, we'll share what's going to happen if the test is successful and why that could mean fewer headaches for a lot of people there in the Brass City. Well, good morning to you. Hopefully you had a great weekend. We're glad you're starting off your new week with us. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Bridget Bureau. A cold start to the day. We got some snow over the weekend and more is heading our way. Let's check in with Rachel Piscatelli with the forecast. Good morning.
Good morning. Some light stuff out there this afternoon and evening. It's not going to be a widespread issue, but there could be a dusting, a coating that leads to some slippery spots for tonight into tomorrow morning. So just heads up for folks there. Some light snow is expected to develop mainly after about noon. In the meantime, it is a cold start for the kids that are returning to school. 3 to about 8 degrees to even 10 degrees colder than this time yesterday. So a lot of us are starting off in the teens and the lower 20s at 18 degrees in Windsor Locks, 20 in Norwich, and about 26 degrees now in Bridgeport. Winds are remaining light, so it's not adding to the cold numbers, which is certainly some welcome change to our forecast here. And as we move forward, we will have mostly cloudy skies, and then we bring in that opportunity for a few spotty snow showers, mainly after about noontime. And then we see this kind of come through towards the afternoon and evening, coating the ground during the evening commute. So the timing isn't ideal, but all of this precipitation should be relatively light and also manageable. As this wraps up and as we head into the evening tonight and into tomorrow morning, there might be some isolated slick spots, mainly to the south and east, so like really in New London County and southern Tolland and Windham County there. So we'll have to watch for maybe a few isolated slick spots for tomorrow morning. The next opportunity for precipitation moves in Tuesday night into Wednesday. In the meantime, today, temperatures around 19 degrees, mostly cloudy skies this morning. At lunchtime, we're cloudy. We're bringing in the opportunity for some light snow showers, and into the after school activities around 28 degrees. So temperatures will struggle today, but it doesn't last. So temperatures today struggle to make it out of the lower 30s as we head into our Tuesday. More of the same with temperatures that begin to rebound, and then eventually we get all the way up into the 40s for our Wednesday. We'll talk about where we go from here. Your full 7-day. We'll break it down for you in just around 15 minutes. As we check in with the roads this morning here at about 6:02, we are following a couple of issues on the road, so just heads up for folks. We do have this closure in Salem. This is going to be out on Route 82, Haddam Road. And then we also have this crash this morning in Bridgeport, 95 southbound out by 29 and 27. We'll send things over to you guys.
All right, Rachel, thank you so much. And we have a reminder for people heading back to school or the office in Waterbury this morning. The detours on Thomaston Avenue from the water main break last month are still active.
And this comes as crews get ready for a really important test. It could determine when work will begin on repairing the road. We're checking it with Fox 61's Glenn Kittle. He's joining us live from Waterbury with much more. Glenn.
Yeah, good morning, Bridget, Erica. It's a pretty crucial test, as you said earlier. They're running a pressure test on the slip line where this water main break took place. Now, if this test passes, there could be further progress in terms of fixing up Thomaston Avenue. If not, crews will be held up until that test is passed. Now, you may recall that last week, crews repaired the 36-inch high pressure and low pressure lines, shutting off that was the straw that broke the camel's back in this catastrophic damage to Waterbury's water main break. That shut off faucets for more than 100,000 people in Waterbury and neighboring communities. Now, because of this break, Waterbury Water Superintendent Brad Millay has identified the biggest problems in Waterbury's water system and plans to get on the front foot to avoid widespread water shutdowns, as we saw with this break. Now, on Friday, lawmakers visited Waterbury to talk about what they'll do to try and bring long-term solutions to the city's aging infrastructure. That includes funding, but obstacles remain in the way.
The Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, Donald Trump has proposed cutting by 90%. The House, in its budget, has cut it by 65%. Cutting this program by 90% is totally irresponsible and reprehensible.
Now, Senator Blumenthal says the Senate will support the Drinking Water Fund at the same level as 2025 and has been requested, but the budget for it increased, and it says it could be a while until funding is approved and in the hands of the city. Now, as of today, if this pressure test does pass, crews can then start on restoring the road on Thomaston Avenue. We were told a couple of weeks ago that it could take 10 days to fully restore Thomaston Avenue's road, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll see progress on this road and things will open open up for people in the area. Live in Waterbury, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
All right, Glenn, looking forward to those roads finally reopening. What a headache this has caused people there. Thanks, Glenn. 6:05 now happening today. Michelle Troconis is expected to be back in a courtroom. She is challenging her conviction in the death and disappearance of mother of 5 Jennifer Farber-Dulos.
Fox 61's Tim Latow explains why legal experts are calling this move an unconventional one.
More than a year into a 14-and-a-half-year sentence, Michelle Troconis will be in Rockville Superior Court Monday for a habeas trial to take on her former defense attorney, who she now claims was ineffective prior to her criminal trial in 2024.
I'm not sure there's unanimity among defense attorneys.
Jim Bergen has been a criminal defense attorney for 46 years, and he and other legal experts are surprised to see Michelle Troconis is pursuing a habeas trial before she receives an appeals ruling.
An appeal, you can only look at the 4 corners of what happened in that courtroom. A writ of habeas corpus, you can look at anything. So ineffective assistance of counsel is something that happens outside the courtroom. There's no record of it.
In this habeas trial, Troconis will argue she is being imprisoned unconstitutionally because she didn't receive effective legal counsel from her former attorney. She claims Andrew Bowman didn't inform her of her Miranda rights and other standard information before she spoke with police. Another criminal defense attorney, Raymond Hassett, says that is surprising.
Because they're pretty fundamental, and I would think that any attorney, especially an experienced attorney, would have provided those to her. So the facts and circumstances of whether he did or didn't are going to be set forth in front of a judge.
On the other hand, Bergen believes it's a difficult argument to make that Bowman was ineffective, because Bowman actually unearthed bombshell video evidence of the lead prosecutor doubting Troconis' role in Dulos' murder. However, Bergen thinks that evidence could have been better used.
So when the head of the entire operation says, I don't think she knows anything, that to me should be front and center in that whole trial. It came out, but it didn't come out like most people even remember that happened.
It's a tall order for Troconis, because not only does her legal team need to prove Bowman was ineffective, but also that his inability led to an illegitimate legal outcome.
They then have to prove if he was effective, she wouldn't have been convicted. That's really hard. Now, it's a smart thing to do, and they're doing it now out of the normal order.
The normal order would be to wait for a ruling on her appeal, but Troconis' team believes they have everything in place for a habeas trial. Hassett thinks it may take up to a few months for the judge to make a decision in the habeas trial, but while court is in session, Troconis and Bowman both need to watch what they say about the conversations they had behind closed doors.
That can dangerously lead to additional testimony and additional facts that may become problematic for either the applicant, in this case Mr. Troconis, or her attorney.
If Troconis is successful in her habeas trial, she'll get to walk free before she receives a new trial. And in that trial, any evidence that stems from her ineffective legal assistance would not be usable. In Vernon, Tim Latow, Fox 61.
Investigators say a stolen car went off the road and into a tree, which killed 2 people in the car. It happened early Sunday morning in New Haven on Whaley Avenue. State police tell us before the crash that the car nearly crashed with the New Haven police car, and officers tried to pull it over. New Haven Fire Department told us that they arrived on scene just before 5 in the morning Sunday to reports of a car that had crashed into a tree. Both the driver and passenger were pronounced dead on the scene.
Seen a lot of dangerous maneuvers in the past, so yeah, it's been my fear that something like this might happen.
People in the area say that the crash was shocking to hear about, since people in the area like to walk through it.
A 31-year-old man is dead after a shooting inside of a club in Bridgeport. Police say it happened just after 3 o'clock Sunday morning on Noble Avenue. Officers got multiple 911 calls, and when they got there at the scene, they found people leaving what police described as an illegal club. Officers found Jordan Thompson critically hurt inside. Thompson was pronounced dead at the hospital. This is Bridgeport's first homicide of 2026.
6:09, 10 people need a place to stay this morning after a fire last night in Bridgeport. When crews got there to Washington Avenue, they found heavy smoke inside the building. Firefighters say the building's sprinkler system helped put out the flames, but 9 apartments were damaged. The American Red Cross has been called in to help, and thankfully no one was hurt. Fire crews in West Hartford quickly contained a fire at a house late Saturday night. The fire was reported around 10:40 at a home on Keeney Avenue. Crews arrived to find smoke and flames coming from the back of the house. The people inside the home were able to get out safely before fire crews arrived, and no one was hurt. The cause of the fire remains under investigation, but officials say foul play is not suspected in the case.
6:10 now, and today, members of the Trump administration will brief select members of Congress about the military operation in Venezuela. U.S. forces captured then-President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. Sources say administration officials will brief the chairs and ranking members of the Senate and House Foreign Relations and Armed Services committees. The so-called Gang of Eight also will receive a briefing. The Gang of Eight includes congressional leaders from each party and the chairs and ranking members of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees. And also happening today, Maduro and his wife are expected in a federal courtroom in New York City. They're going to be charged with drug trafficking and other federal charges. But legal experts expect Maduro's attorney